I think I finally figured it out. All this time I've been stressed out about how I'm going to do this. And it turns out the answer was out there on the internet the whole time. And I didn't need the Chinese AI to do it either. Sorry for the little bit of a delay in getting a video out, but I have been very busy trying to figure out retirement. That's right. Now, as many of you know, I want to retire early. And I did none of the bullshit that you're supposed to do to retire early. As in, when I was in my 20s, I didn't know what investing was. I thought investing meant you opened up another fucking credit card. But no, that's not the key to success in life. No one taught me how money worked. No one explained to me that the fact that I'm just selling my time, which is worth way more than what they're paying me for it. And now that I've gone through all of that, I've learned about minimalism, I've learned about investing, I've learned about trading, I've learned about this and that. I thought my biggest problem was the fact that I don't have a massive portfolio. I don't have a huge investment account. I have $1,000 account. I'm going to turn $1,000 into full retirement. That's right. Don't get excited because I'm probably going to fuck up and fail. It's probably going to be a train wreck and you're going to enjoy watching every second of it. But that is my new mission. That is my new goal. That is what is driving me at the moment, given all of the other issues I've been having as of late. And you might be saying, well, come on, dickhead, share it. How the fuck are you going to retire with $1,000 saved? How? Tell me. Well, it's funny you ask, because I'm going to tell you what I'm doing right now, and it probably ain't going to work out for me. But at least you can follow along. And I want to immediately tell you that nothing I do in this video is financial advice. I'm not telling you to quit your fucking job. I'm not telling you to do any of this shit. But what I will say is if I succeed with this strategy, and I'm going to tell you where I got the strategy and give you a rough idea of it. If I succeed with this strategy, because I'm a minimalist, because my overhead cost is low, and I'm doing it with such a small account, if I succeed in surviving without going to work for the man directly, instead I'm going to be working with the man, because that's how they make their money, on the stock market. So I've pulled out of crypto. After I saw this strategy, I was like, I'm just spinning my wheels, sitting here trying to fight all the AI algorithm bots for a few extra pennies here and there. And while I was in the double-digit positives at that point, and, some would say just put it in there and hold it. Well, that doesn't do me any good. Locking up money to the point where I'm waiting for some dickhead to buy a bunch of shit that I'm invested in and hope that it goes to the moon to make me independently wealthy. Turns out that strategy sucks for about 80 to 90% of people in the market. As in, if you're doing what everyone else is doing in the market, oh my God, it's going to the moon, let me buy a bunch, so I don't want to miss out. Then you buy a bunch, and the algorithms and the people with the deep pockets say, hey, look, a bunch of dumbasses just came in. Let's take all of their money. And they rug pull your ass. I've seen it happen a bunch of times. Bunch of rug pulling motherfuckers. And now, with AI out there, AI watching the shit, AI is going to rug pull you. They don't even have to get out of bed to fucking take all your money. Okay, that being said there, I'm not immune to fighting against the algos and whatnot in the stock market. Same thing happens there. It's more regulated. It's a little harder to fuck people up out there. There's a lot of rules that don't exist in the crypto world. But there is some secret codes, and I call them secret codes because I've never heard anybody talk about this shit. Please like and subscribe before I reveal to you my strategy. But no one told me about this strategy I'm about to lay on you. The strategy is called options trading. More particularly for small accounts, trading spreads. Option spreads. So for the longest time, I looked at options. I'm like, hey, it's gambling. Yeah, you're just gambling. You're in the casino. Cha-ching, cha-ching. You buy a call. Cha-ching. Oh, it goes to the moon. Oh, I won the jackpot. And you buy another call and down in the gutter. And all the while, you got to lay out a ton of capital to make this happen. But it turns out when you trade spreads, you don't need a lot of risk. You don't need to risk your entire nest egg to buy one call, or one put. So it's basically the way options work is you're taking 100 shares into a contract. And I can't really get in depth. I'm not good at explaining it. I'm still learning it myself. But what I will do is show you in the link in the description. And I don't even know this guy. I don't know who the fuck he is. I don't know if he's real successful or not. But what he's saying, you can practice without us spending any money. You can, put in the trades and see how they're going to pan out. And once you understand all the fundamentals of it, it's really not that hard to do. You're still taking risk, but no more risk, usually there's a 20% chance that my trade will lose, and with a 20% chance, your expected value rises the more times you trade. So the more you do it with that expected value, it's, you're basically, I guess to put it in an analogy, I'll give you an analogy. Options is the casino of Wall Street. All right. If you are buying options, hence you're buying calls, you're buying puts, you're the gambler. You're the dickhead on the slot machine all day going cha-ching, cha-ching, oh fuck, cha-ching, ah shit, cha-ching, oh my god, I won $20. And then you put the $20 into the fucking thing because you want to win more. Cha-ching, oh, it's gone. That's what buying calls and puts is. You're gambling. You're the gambler in the casino. There's another side of it, the safer side. The side that all the big top motherfuckers in Wall Street are very familiar with and do all the time. That's selling the contracts. As in, you write up the contract being like, I got 100 shares of this shit, and if you want the option to buy it at this price that you set, you're in full control when you're selling. And I got that before, but I thought you had to have either 100 shares if you're selling a call, or 100 or enough to buy 100 shares if you're selling a put. So I thought, I can't do that. Well, then comes in the spreads. So basically, you can buy a contract below a certain sold contract, and it'll cover your loss. As in, if you lose, it'll keep you from losing infinitely, essentially. There is a little gray area. There is some risks associated. If your price lands at expiration in between the contract you sold and the contract you bought, a lot of bad things can happen to you, so you don't want to avoid that. That means you got to pay attention when it's getting close to expiration. But that's about the only time you really should watch is close to expiration. So expiration day is going to be busy. Don't schedule anything. But that's basically the strategy, and it allows you to get all the benefits of owning 100 shares. Imagine you owned 100 shares of the S&P 500, which trades at 600 and something bucks a share today. Want to know why I know that? I've been staring at it all fucking day. So it trades at that point. So if you wanted 100 shares, you'd have to spend $60,000 or so to buy 100 shares. But what if I told you with options, you could control that 100 shares, as in it goes up and you profit. There are strategies out there that allow you to get all the benefits of owning those 100 shares by spending 25% of the amount of money on them. And this scales depending on the price of the stock you're trying to own or the company you're involved in. And it's not a get-rich-quick thing. This is actual work. I spent days working on this. Instead of doing anything else, I was like, this is important. If I don't fucking master this, there's no retirement for me. That's what's on the line. That's why I did this. The playlist that you will find the link in the description goes through the strategies. I don't want to regurgitate it because I'm still new. But feel free to check out this guy's videos. I think he's given me good information. There is a few things that he hasn't taken into account that you'll probably run into, like if somebody early exercises the contract, or if your closing price is between the option that's protecting you and the option that you're profiting from. If it's in between those, some wonky shit can happen if you don't have a lot of money in your account. So if that really only applies to the small account motherfuckers. There is a potential to take a huge loss. If you don't pay attention, you can take a huge loss. But if you pay attention, you can easily avoid the loss. You can move out of positions that are going to lose. You know, all you got to do is look at your charts and say, well, what do I think is going to happen? And if it looks like it's going to fuck you, it's probably going to fuck you. So maybe you just pull out early, take your small loss instead of a big loss. And by doing that, your risk-reward ratio is insanely good. And using this strategy on paper so far, from what I've seen and from the trades I'm currently involved in several positions right now that expire tomorrow, so I got a busy day tomorrow. And that's just busy making sure nothing fucks up. That's all. That's just, it's getting too close to fucking me. Get rid of that one. And it's only 20% chance each one of those positions fails. So that's my job as an options trader, is to make sure it doesn't blow up on me. That's it. And if the market looks really good, you might have nothing on your hand. You might be able to check it once around middle of the day, around noon. Check it once. Oh, everything's good. You're probably good till close, unless the entire market crashes in the middle of that, which everyone will be fucked anyway and losing money. So you'll just get caught up. So yes, you can lose money. Yes, there is a downside potential, especially if you don't know what you're doing. I will say learning options has been one of the more complicated things that I've had to learn about trading. You know, learning about the deltas, what each one means, what implied volatility is. All of these things I'm learning right now. And as I get better at them, I'll probably start sharing some of my strategies that are working. Right now, it's too early to tell. I'm letting you know right now that if you want to go on this journey with me without actually fucking yourself up, and you want to see if I blow up or if I fail, subscribe. Also, if you like my videos, head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and sign up for my membership. And as I begin to go on this journey, one of the things I'm probably going to do with my premium members, aside from exclusive videos, music, I'm still doing all of that. We'll get to that in a little bit later, because not everybody wants to know that at least the ones that clicked on this video, they want to know how to retire. So we'll get there. But promo first. Eventually, I'm going to start sharing my trades on my member only section. So if anybody wants to follow my progress or see what I'm doing and maybe learn something from it, whether I'm fucking up and you learn from me fucking up, or I do something successful and you're like, wow, I could probably do that. That's going to be a premium thing that's coming soon to ScottTheTruckDriver.com. And if you want my content, you want me to take time away to make content, spend my evenings, because turns out it's a 9 to 5 working in the stock market as an options trader. So if you want more content. You want me to spend time doing that, and I still have to do deliveries. I'm not out of the woods there yet. But I can see that I could easily replace deliveries with this probably in a few months if I'm good at it. If I'm not good at it, it might take longer, but we'll see. Because I know I'm going to fuck up and lose here and there. That's part of learning something new. It was like my first time playing poker. I was losing my ass. Eventually, I was getting to break even. And then I feel like if I'd have given it all my effort, all my time, I probably could have been successful as a poker player. I could still play pretty decent today. But if I were to go in the casino today and put my money out, chances are I'd get my ass handed to me. So, and it's the same with trading. Learning to trade, whether you're straight up trading or day trading or swing trading, or, obviously the safest investment path is just to dollar cost average into the market, don't give a fuck what the price is, and then go take a nap. And then a couple years down the line, you look and you're like, oh, I made money. But that's the lowest return on your investment. S&P 500 averages, it's a little above average last year, averages 8% per year over the course of its history. 8% return on the money you put in. That's almost equal to inflation. So I think, not being active in your investments, I feel like is a losing strategy. But don't get me wrong, you can still do the old-fashioned way. If you want to retire at age 67 and then have, all your health gone, that's if you make it that far. And then guess what happens to that retirement account? Chances are it'll go to your estate, cover all your debts, and then whatever's left might go to your offspring or your significant other or whatever, but you'll be dead. You don't get to enjoy your retirement at that point. I don't want to do that. I want to do it now. And I don't have the money to do it now. I don't have a $500,000 investment account. Or I don't have a $500,000 portfolio, which is what you need to be able to make just through dividends or the safe methods where the stocks pay you every month or every quarter or whatever. Those dividends, you got to have $500,000. And that's to make maybe 40 or 50,000 a year in dividend income. Whereas if you're active, if you have 500,000, chances are by the next year you'll be at $1 million, and you'll be doing it while you live off of the money. If these strategies work, I don't know, but I'm sitting there. I spent the last couple nights on my phone putting trades in just to see how the numbers work, because I trade on Robinhood. If you are on there, it'll tell you what your expected profits are. It'll show you graphs of the spreads when you put them in and tell you how much you're risking. It holds the collateral for any trades you make. So with $100 collateral, you can do a lot of small trades that give you anywhere from a 20% to a 50% return on your collateral. Your collateral being theoretically your max loss. Now there's some asterisks there that he'll talk about in the rather long playlist. And what I like about this playlist that I'm going through, because I've watched a ton of these, that's what I've been spending my spare time doing instead of making videos, is learning how to trade. He goes over the same points and maybe integrates different strategies or different questions in each video. And so he's kind of repeating himself a lot. But if you're learning this as a beginner, I think that's the best way, after like 2 or 3 of these videos, the strategies he was using became no-brainers. And I started to put them into practice. Now, so far, if all goes well tomorrow, if the stock market doesn't do anything I'm not expecting it to do, which, as we know, can happen with all the bullshit going on, I stand to be in approximately $180 of profit for the week. As in, my money was in the account, most of it locked up as collateral. If everything expires properly tomorrow on my options, because there's all options. I don't have any stock investments. I don't have any, I'm not doing any crypto or anything. I still flirt with XRP every now and then, but for the most part, I'm all in on options right now. And that is a mistake. That my first mistake that I'm doing on this, because I'm so desperate to grow this account quickly, is I've gone all in. So right now, my entire portfolio is tied up in collateral. It'll be released tomorrow, though. And then I can maybe dial that back a little and just hold some money to spare in case I need to fix something. And that's what I advise you to do. Depends on your situation. My situation is I don't have a high income coming from a day job or any of that shit right now. I got my deliveries, and I can tell you the deliveries don't pay well. So if I take a big loss on my portfolio, it's gonna hurt. So I've got to pick some of the safest strategies that are easy to manage, because there's a lot of different strategies. So as it stands right now, tomorrow could either be a really good day or a really bad day. I don't know. Apple's earnings come out after hours today, so that could fuck with me a little bit. I already had to close a couple of trades with small losses. And that's what part of the discipline is. When you see that you're at risk of a big loss with options. And trust me, if you just ignore it and just go fuck yourself or whatever, and you don't pay attention, you could turn around and on a trade that you would gain approximately, I've seen it where you make $100, but if the trade goes south, you lose $500. That is, if you're not paying attention. If you just let it expire the way it is, and you're in a loss, and you'll be able to see it on the graphs, it becomes a $500. That nukes the account almost. One of those losses cancels out any gains and could nuke the account, especially when you're first starting out. So the whole point of risk management, it even says it on the screen right there, understand risk, even though it's blurry for you. That's the point. That's the downside of this strategy, is it requires your time and attention. It requires you to manage your risks. It requires you to understand looking at charts, which I've already kind of learned from trading, trying to be a day or swing trader. I've understood, but the things you got to understand about the charts are very easy, rudimentary. This guy preaches the Bollinger Bands is what he looks at when he's open, and just the general trend over the last 6 months of the stock. And when you look at those things, and you also you got to know the company. Is it a good company? If it's a good, safe company, it's a good place. You could theoretically just be an options trader on the S&P 500, which you already know how that's going to go. That has a long, straight up history, and the only time it fucks up is when the entire market gets nuked by Jerome Powell or some shit, or some really fucked up news happens. And then generally it bounces back fairly quickly, because there's people actively managing those funds, their index funds, and they get it back to right fairly decent because they don't want Nancy Pelosi to lose money. I don't want that either, because now I'm going to be making some bets that she makes. So, if you can't beat them, join them, right? That being said, these are all, that's the caution I wanted to put up in case anyone decides to follow me. I don't want you to follow me. I don't want you to if you want to go to this guy's site and watch all of those videos and you're like, wow, that could work for me, go ahead. By all means, that's between you and him. Leave me the fuck out of it. I'm just here as the sample, one of the dickheads that's following the advice that he's giving, and even though he's not giving financial advice, but we all know that that's just fine print. He's doing that for the legalese. He's giving you the fucking trades. He's telling you pretty much what to do on the trades. He's showing you step by step in the app how to do it. And, but it's at your own risk. Chances are you're going to lose your ass. And if you listen to what I'm saying and you try and follow what I'm doing, you're probably going to lose your ass, because I might lose my ass. But this is when I've seen the way this plays out on paper. When I sat down just plucking trades in to see how they would turn out, because you can play with the price, and you can actually just calculate what's going to happen with the trade based on what you think the stock's going to do. There's still that variable. The stock might not always do what you want it to do or what you think it's going to do, especially since they can see your options. The algorithms see what you're doing, and they'll probably try to counteract you, but it's one of those, if enough people are doing it, they can't, the market movers can't really fuck you as easily. But if a majority of people do the same thing, that's when the market makers make their money. All right. And they make it off of your back. So that's what you're doing in the stock market. In the crypto world, there's algorithms and big players and whales that are rug pulling you there with very little oversight. In the stock market, people are, the whales still fuck with you. They just got a little more rules about fucking with you. But make no mistake, they have access to all the information. Every trade you put in, every option contract you sell, every option you buy, they know. And just remember, if you take nothing else away from this option strategy, is if you're selling options, you're the casino. And I don't know if you've been to a casino lately, but you notice they look pretty wealthy. The reason is because they have an edge. If you're selling contracts, you have an edge. You're not going to win everything, but you have an edge if you understand everything. If you keep your theta below 20 on selling, you have an edge over time. The more times you do those trades, the more money you're going to make over time. And it's an active strategy. And the casino seems to work for them. Maybe it'll work for me. So, right now I'm looking at the possibility, on a really good week, with the money I have now, I could make $200 a week if everything goes well. That's going to be weeks where I make $300, because that's where I was at the beginning of the week. I had to close some trades at a little bit of a loss, so that ate into it, And who knows, it could happen tomorrow. I could end up breaking even. I don't know. Right now, I'm around the $200 mark, And that's if everything goes well tomorrow. And then at the end of the day, the trading day today, all the contracts expire that I have, and they expire in the money. Good to go. If it looks like I might get fucked on something, I might have to sell early at a loss, but it's a smaller loss. Instead of letting it expire, there'd be a bigger loss. But what I'm looking at right now, and the numbers I ran, and the trades I tested out, and you can do this entirely on the S&P 500 and the QQQ. QQQ, more volatile, more of a gamble because it's more volatile, but you can make more money quickly there. And the S&P is good old, slugging along, maybe moving 2% a day, maybe 1 or 2%, 3% every once in a while. And then every once in a while, something big happens and it drops. And usually that's an awesome time to do contracts, I'm finding. It's because once it hits the bottom and meets its support level, then you can... I don't want to get into strategies because the fuck do I know? I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole. But that's my strategy. And I feel like if I can do this, if I can take my $1,000 account and grow it into a retirement. Now, granted, I don't have a lot of overhead. I still got some overhead, though. But if I can keep my bills paid and keep food on my table and keep a roof over my head, whatever method that you need to do those things, if I can do it with $1,000, imagine what you could do with a full-time income. You could start investing maybe $100 a week, just throw it into the account, start buying some options, start trading. It's not advice, by the way. I'm just saying, theoretically, had I done this the proper way, instead of quitting my job, just threw $100 a week into the account and do your trades. And over time, it could grow very quickly. Obviously, the more you put in, the more your money can work. If you just keep your money under the mattress, it's not going to grow. It's going to shrink a lot. But I feel like if you put your money to work to where it brings money back, it goes out while you're sleeping and it gets more money and comes back and gives it to you when you wake up. That's the ideal strategy for financial freedom, isn't it? And that's what the goal is. The only way you retire is if you have financial freedom. As in, you don't need to sell your time anymore to make money. And that has me very excited. Like, I was with my girlfriend at the time the light bulb came on, and I'm sitting there, this is it. This is what I got to do. This is AI proof. In fact, I'm using AI to help me. That's right. Good old Chat GPT. Anytime I come across something I'm not quite sure of. Now, keep in mind, I know it can hallucinate. But the questions I asked, you can easily verify the answers to. And it made sense in the context of what I was doing. And saved my ass on one of the trades, by the way. So my little $20 a month that I'm giving to ChatGPT while DeepSeek comes out and is ready to take over for free, and that you can run it on your own computer. I can't wait till I get into that and I don't have to pay OpenAI, a big evil corporation, anymore. But, all in due time. We'll get to that topic another day. But I have utilized AI to help me. If I get stuck, if I have a problem, if I have an issue, if I have a question, I just go and run it through ChatGPT, and either it'll answer the question in a way that makes sense outright, or it'll give me an idea of where to look or what to look at. And I did have a close call in the beginning. Yesterday, I put one of the trades that he suggests in a same day scenario, which kind of boned me, because what happened was the closing price would have been in between the protective option and the money-making option. It would have been right in the middle, in which case the contracts can be exercised. And because I don't have the capital to buy 100 shares of the underlying stock, they locked my account and they just sold off my options, an hour before close. They were like, oh, we've identified you as a risk. It went in and it locked up, to where I couldn't trade the options anymore. Couldn't try and sell to close or any of that shit. And they did it for me. And they did it for me in a way in which it pretty much lost all the value. It could have been worse. But now that I had that happen, I know how to avoid it. And in fact, I chatted with Robinhood. Not that I'm, 100% a fan, but they're growing on me. I chatted with them because, I was like, well, fuck. Because when they did that, it flagged me as a pattern day trader. And apparently there's one get out of jail free card on that. You can figure out what all that means. Look it up. But let's just say my account was very stressfully fucked with by running one of these trades. And that's because I didn't know what I was doing with it. That's it. It's not that guy's fault. The reason he doesn't run into that is he has $1 million account. When you do it on a small account, you can run into these things. And I started to look out, and the other scenario that you could get fucked, that's a risk, is when you have a small account anyway. It's not a risk if you have the collateral, if you have the money to buy the shares. Is somebody could exercise contract and then you get assigned 100 shares. I saw a guy on YouTube that went through this with Disney. Somebody exercised it early. He had 2 more days before expiration, and some dickhead exercised it early for some ungodly, stupid reason, which mostly people don't do, because you lose money when you do that. But it pretty much nuked. He had enough capital in his account, but he didn't have enough to cover the shares. So it locked up his account. It took him pretty much 2 days to sort that out. Otherwise he would have had to deposit the amount of money it takes to buy the shares. But by the time it expired, Robinhood, I forget what they did. They closed a bunch of his positions, sold it for him, same way they did to me. And that's a risk. Somebody could exercise early. That's an underlying risk, but it's rare from what I can tell. I'll let you know next time it happens to me, because it probably is going to suck if it happens again. But I know what to look for so that I don't get into that danger zone. There's a specific scenario where people exercise, And the closer you're getting to that little iffy point, the point where, hey, after a while they're going to exercise and they're not going to give a shit about their break even. And guess what? That's when you get early exercise. But as your account grows, that'll become less of an issue. Once your account's big enough to where you can afford the shares, then basically you just sell them immediately, and you don't, you lose a little bit maybe because you were losing on the trade to begin with, but you don't lose your ass, essentially. But that's what the spreads are designed to do. The risk with spreads is if the price closes out in between your protective contract and your profit contract, if it explodes, it goes in the middle of that, it hurts. It can hurt you. And a lot of the strategies that he suggests, particularly like Iron Condor and what was the other one? Put credit spreads. If it lands in there, I think it fucks you too. But just to be warned, don't let it get to that. Manage your risk yourself. Don't just let it go. This is not a fire and forget strategy. It's not oh shit, it's down today, I'll just wait. That's not how options work. The casino doesn't wait. The casino will close your bet at a loss, which there's rolling options. That's the other thing. You can protect yourself, as if it wasn't bad enough. You got a 20%, chance of failing, essentially, on these trades. But if you pay attention, you can just close that trade, take a small loss, because the loss gets bigger the longer you wait. Close that trade, take a small loss, and roll it into another trade that closes the same day, whatever. Maybe even a different company. Don't want to be a day trader now without the money that big boys have, because they don't like you taking their money like that. Then you just roll it into a new contract. You adjust your strikes, and you're like, I'll just see if it's got to stop sometime, and then eventually you further mitigate your losses, or maybe you make a profit just by rolling it compared to what your loss would have been. Even more ways to hedge against, this is probably to me, it's less risk than owning the stock. So, you buy a stock and they rug pull your ass, and I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. They rug pull you lose tons of money, and then you either have to leave your money locked up in that stock and hope it goes back up, or you got to cut your loss and sell at the bottom. Those are your options. And if you're trying to retire, sitting around waiting for it to magically pop and make you independently wealthy, how many people that happens to? Whereas if you're building your wealth yourself and you're the one responsible for your returns, I feel like that's the better strategy. So that's what has caused me to pull out of crypto and move over to options trading. And because let's face it, the crypto market has been it's been crazy. Ever since I got into XRP, I was day trading it because it would do these 8 to 10% swings. Turns out that's way more risky than options trading. And I've already seen gains, even if one or two more of mine get into the red where I have to sell them off and sell to close, at the worst, I'll break even for the week, which is better than I was doing in crypto, But I'll let you know in the next video how I'm doing on a week-by-week basis. And if I get another 10 members to my premium site, I will start posting my trades on there. And sometime this weekend, I'll try and make a new section to my website. Because guess what? When you're crypto trading, you work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night to piss, and you're going to be looking at the crypto. But when you're options trading, the market closes, you got the day off. You might look to see what's going on after hours, but Since you can't trade or close your positions, ain't fuck all you can do about it. Deal with it on Monday when the market opens. So there's that. Anyways, getting on to my AI journey and letting you know how it's going to go with the second channel. I know I'm overdue to post another music video there. I will get to it hopefully this weekend. Well, I'm going to take a break from all the market shit I've been learning and doing. I do still need to knock out some deliveries this weekend, so there's that. And so that's the plan. I'm going to do that. But I will try and I've got a lot of the AI video done. I just need to figure out the music that I want to do. Whether I want to use AI to make music, or if I want to make my own music or release one of my already produced tracks. Depends on what goes with the video. But subscribe to my second channel, the AI Third Eye, if you like my creative, artistic side. Stay tuned here if you want to see if I'm going to succeed and turn semi-retirement into full retirement. Here's hoping. I really do hope this works. I'm optimistic, but I also know that something's probably going to fuck up. I'll tell you no matter what. This harkens back to the time I stumbled upon intermittent fasting and keto. Like, if you go way back in my videos, as excited as I got, because I found the key to not be huge anymore, to take control of my health at the time. I've since slacked, but I'm still not as bad as I was. I'm nowhere near where I was before keto. You go back and look. But I was excited when I discovered that. I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me this shit? I spent all these years fighting weight gain, and guess what? There's a secret code to stop it. Well, now I'm discovering the secret code to fucking making your money work and passive income and financial freedom. Those are the things that are important to me right now. And in this landscape of political unrest that seems to be growing around me, that I'm not really paying attention to because I don't want to be involved in that shit. Anyways, I feel like my attention is better focused on bettering my individual, personal situation. But what the fuck do I know? Because I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole. Please like and subscribe for more shit. And I'll make more shit. And if you liked this video, or if I helped you, or if you made your light bulb go off, make sure you go check out that guy's playlist. I'm telling you, even if you don't do it, it's worth the watch, and it might give you the tools if you're still out there in the 9-to-5 grind, wage slave, hating life, and no hope for retirement on your horizon because your 401k looks like shit because you cleaned it out twice in your life or some other shit, or maybe you haven't even got a savings for retirement and you want to know what you're going to do when you get old as fuck. Maybe now's the time to start looking at that. And if I can do it without a 9-to-5 job and grow an account, there ain't no excuse if you can work your 9-to-5 and pump it into the market. You're missing it. It's just because you don't want to take the time to learn it. That would be the only excuse I could think of that why everyone doesn't do this. But we'll see. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if you hung out this long. What do you think? You think I'm fucking up with options trading? Maybe you've tried options trading and you got your ass handed to you and you think that I might be barking up the wrong tree. Or maybe you were successful at it and maybe you're retired now because you did proper account management, risk management, and options trading, or just trading the stock market. Let me know what your strategy was if you've achieved your full retirement. How did you get there? Is it because you were rich your whole fucking life and you were able to just throw money into some account and forget it? Well, congratulations. I didn't get to do that, and most of the people I know don't do that. But still want to hear from you just the same. This is not conventional, what I'm doing. This is starting from $1,000 account and trying to grow it and live off it at the same time. Taking money that I earn from doing deliveries and putting it in there and running it through a trade so that it makes more money, and then essentially multiplying my hourly. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if I can do it. If I can do this, I'll be fucking happy. All right. So you've seen my videos where I'm not happy. This will make me happy. I feel like, because then I'm secure. I don't got to worry about financial security anymore. I can pay my bills by trading. And if that's all that happens, if I don't become wealthy, if I don't end up with $1 million trading account, that's fine. That's not my goal. My goal is to consistently survive. I'll slowly reinvest what I earn, but I'll also be taking profits here and there, to live off of. So that's my strategy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit. And once again, nothing I've given you in this is financial advice. I'm just waving my hand and saying, motherfuckers, this shit's been here. No one told it to me. They didn't teach it in school. They don't teach it in college. Well, they do teach it in college if you go to college for finance. But who the hell does that? No, we're too busy studying other bullshit that's useless in college. I don't know what else to say. I wish somebody would have waved at me and been like, "Hey, there's a way. There's a way. Don't cry. Don't worry. There's a way. There's a way to retire early. There is a way for financial freedom." And many years I've spent studying personal finance and studying trading, just regular trading. And like I said, they didn't teach me any of this spread shit that I could do options without a portfolio that's big. This is new to me. I was just a traditional trader, and I feel like they do that on purpose. A lot of the channels that I'm watching, they complain the algorithm doesn't like them. Well, I understand why now. They don't want everyone doing this. They want everyone being in the herd. Oh my God, Tesla's $800. I better go buy some or I'm going to miss out. And I was there for that. That happened not too long ago. Like, I looked at Tesla, it was $800. What happened there? Don't do what everyone else is doing. It's moral of the story. All right. I'm out. Have a nice motherfucking day.